This is macOS Ken.
Keep next Tuesday open. Sales and sales to come for iPhone 12, and lots of little software moves. It's Tuesday, the 3rd of November, 2020. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Mint Mobile, offering their unlimited data plan for just $30 a month at mintmobile.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Squarespace, your place online. What I love about Squarespace is the control that it gives me. The first couple of versions of macOSKen.com were built by other people who got busy and suddenly didn't have time to work on my site. I was always stuck waiting until I tried Squarespace. Their beautiful, customizable templates and drag-and-drop editing tools are so easy to use. I went from waiting days for my friends to fix my site to having the site I wanted up and running in a couple of hours. If you don't have a site yet, now is an excellent time to start. The ease with which you can make your own space and the speed with which you can transform it, those are two ways that Squarespace has always impressed me. See what they can do for you. Go to squarespace.com/macOSKen for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code macOSKen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Start your free trial today, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code macOSKen to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain at squarespace.com/macOSKen. And a big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring today's show. Good news! We have something to look forward to. Apple sent out virtual invitations on Monday to a virtual event next Tuesday, the 10th of November, 2020, promising one more thing. Ladies and gentlemen, start your Zaprudering. The one thing we know we're going to get is something in an Apple Silicon Mac. I mean, we don't know that, but we do. Apple announced the move to Macs powered by its own processors at WWDC earlier this year. The company said that transition would take a couple of years to complete and that it would start by the end of this year, which is coming soon. Relaying the event announcement, VentureBeat's all, whatever. We all know this was coming. It's fine. Paraphrasing there. And VentureBeat may be right. On the other side, iMore is all like, the November 10th event won't just be about Mac. That's a quote. And iMore may be right. While trying to be cool, VentureBeat's still willing to do the Zapruder thing. How do they explain the use of one more thing as the invitation line? Quoting the site, one more thing was originally a phrase used at media events by Apple's late CEO Steve Jobs, who used it to generate audience enthusiasm for a show closing announcement. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which prevented the company from offering its traditional in-person presentations and hands-on sessions, Apple decided this year to split its traditional 1 to 2 fall media events into 3 separate streams. A September Time Flies event focused on new Apple Watches and iPads, while an October High Speed event was devoted to the iPhone 12 family and accessories, leaving the official release of new Macs and their macOS 11 operating system for this event in November. It could be just that. Except we know that's coming. One more thing has this air of, you didn't expect that, even though we often did. The only time I remember Tim Cook using that term is when he introduced Apple Watch in the fall of 2014, ahead of a spring 2015 release. Before that event, we knew a wearable was coming. We were just lacking detail. Playing its "we're getting more than we know" hand, iMore sees a few possibilities for next week. Among them, the ever-rumored, never-present tile competitor AirTags, those premium over-the-ear Apple-branded headphones we keep hearing about, a more powerful Apple TV, and another surprise. Another surprise? Seriously? You might as well say it could be anything. Though in fairness, it could be anything. iPhone socks, maybe. As it's done with at least the last couple of virtual announcements, Apple has hidden another augmented reality Easter egg in the One More Thing invitation. Cult of Mac tells readers how to find it. To see the Easter egg, go to the official Apple Events page on an iPhone. Next, tap on the big black Apple graphic you see on that web page. It's just above Apple Event. That will launch the ARKit augmented reality viewer built into iOS. Do that, and the piece says the Apple graphic will appear virtually in the space behind your handset through the power of AR. It'll soon begin to swivel up and back, and purple, yellow, and blue auroras will glow around it. It's a 3D object. Walk around it to see the moving AR object from any side. As far as what it means, it looks like it pretty much means laptop. The cult says many people notice that the AR Apple logo hidden in the invitation moves like the lid of a MacBook. And it does. I guess the question is, does one more thing mean only one more thing? No tickets required, no hotel, no air flight, and everyone can attend. The One More Thing event is set for next Tuesday, the 10th of November at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. I feel certain that'll come up again a time or two between now and then. As for how to watch it, you'll be able to catch it online on Apple's events page. Additionally, another piece from iMore says Apple has already put up a placeholder video for the event on YouTube. While the Apple watching world gets prepped for whatever Apple is going to announce next week, there are 2 whole new iPhones still to go on order this week. Well, a tiny one and an outsized one, but I'm pretty sure together they do make 2 whole new iPhones. Orders start this Friday for iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 Pro Max, and HomePod mini as well. Addressing the wrap rod specifically, iMore says the pair of 12s is now live for pre-approval in the iPhone upgrade program. The piece says anyone in the upgrade program can now get pre-approved for an upgrade, saving time and stress on Friday. According to iMore, getting pre-approved is easy. Simply open the Apple Store app on your iPhone, select the model you want, including color and storage capacity, and follow the on-screen instructions. Once you're done, you'll be good to go. Except for the part where you have to wait until Friday to complete the process, then wait for the following Friday to unwrap your new best friend. My iPhone is named Callisti. What's yours? While some wait for the biggest and smallest of Apple's communicators, there are 2 whole new iPhones already on sale, and no, you don't have to add and subtract for these 2 to make whole ones. Apple Insider has one financial analyst picking the consumer's choice between iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro. According to JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee, demand looks to be greater for the more expensive Pro model than for iPhone 12. He makes this assertion in an iPhone availability tracker note, according to the report. Quoting that, Chatterjee writes that aggregate lead times are currently moderating or normalizing for the iPhone 12. Those lead times are based on delivery at home dates, which could indicate smartphone supply and demand. Lead times are remaining stable for the iPhone 12 Pro, however. In the 3rd week of availability, the time to receive an iPhone 12 from its delivery date remains at about 10 days worldwide, while delivery of the iPhone 12 Pro maintained an average of 23 days. Not to be a nudge, but I got caught up on that part that says could indicate smartphone supply and demand before I read the part that said could indicate smartphone supply and demand. I mean, he could be right, and really, it's only the bottom line that matters. We won't get to read that until late January or early February 2021, when Apple issues its next earnings report. Still, it appears to Chatman and his peers that the Pro phone is doing better than the 12. That's got investors keenly and optimistically anticipating iPhone 12 Pro Max orders later this week. It might be worth noting, Chatterjee is also clocking longer wait times for this year's 12s versus last year's 11s after similar periods of availability. And you know what that could mean. Sorry, the emphasis should be on could. More news in a moment, but first a word from Mint Mobile, home of unlimited data for just $30 a month. How much? Well, the data is unlimited, and the money is $30. It's not just the data, though. It's also unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus the unlimited data on the nation's largest 5G network. How much are you paying now for less? You could be paying less for more. For me, Mint Mobile's been just as good as my old carrier, but you want to make sure it's right for you. That's why Mint Mobile comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee. Take a few days. Really try it out. Make sure the coverage covers you. If you're not 100% satisfied, return it within 7 days for a full refund. Otherwise, keep your phone, keep your number, and keep more of your money. To get your new unlimited wireless plan for just $30 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/macOSken. That's MINT, mintmobile.com/macOSken. Cut your unlimited wireless bill to $30 a month at mintmobile.com/macOSken. And a big thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring today's show. More signs of updates in the very near future. I told you yesterday of Apple releasing the Golden Master of iOS and iPadOS 14.2 to developers. I also told you of Apple's official announcement to customers in South Korea of the imminent arrival of ECG functionality for Apple Watch. That can't happen until the public release of iOS 14.2 and watchOS 7.1. So guess what happened on Monday? It wasn't the public release of either of those, but MacRumor says Apple did release the Golden Master of watchOS 7.1 to developers. From the wrist to the family room, word of another Golden Master. MacRumor says Apple has released tvOS 14.2 release candidate to developers. Not a lot of excitement around this one. MacRumor says tvOS updates other than new releases are typically minor in scale, focusing on under-the-hood bug fixes and improvements rather than major outward-facing changes. No features or major changes were discovered in the first two betas of tvOS 14.2. I don't know about you, but I kind of forgot that dark sky weather was out there. Apple did not. Dark sky weather was a really popular weather app that Apple acquired earlier this year. When it did, I kind of assumed that they would shutter the app and fold it into iOS. While that may come, it hasn't yet. In fact, iDownload blog says Apple has updated the app this week. If you're a fan or a user, here's what version 6.8.5 brings. It adds the extra-large watch complication to watchOS 7, improves location search with more suggested and relevant results, adds a new location icon to indicate when precise location is disabled, fixes an issue that could cause a duplicate forecast page after moving it from recent searches to saved, and includes stability and performance improvements. Stabs and perfs. The update is free if you're already a user. If not, Dark Sky Weather is $3.99 in the App Store. The love between hardware and services between Apple and other companies, well, I won't say it gives one hope, but I will say it's a thing that's happening. From outside landing on Cupertino hardware, Apple Insider says Pandora has updated its service with support for HomePod and HomePod Mini. We knew the support was coming, though seemed like it might take longer. At last month's high-speed event, Apple said that Pandora support would be coming to its smart speakers in the coming months. Instead, it hit in just under 3 weeks. As for how to turn it on, Apple Insider says users who download the app can set up HomePod integration by opening the Pandora app on their iPhone, selecting Profile and Settings, and tapping on Connect with HomePod. The integration will allow users to control music and podcast playback with Siri voice commands. Meanwhile, from Cupertino landing on outside hardware, looks like Apple TV is ready to play on Xbox. While rumored for a while, Engadget says it is now official. The Apple TV app will be available on Xbox consoles next week. According to the report, as of next week, the app will be available on Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. Can world peace be far behind? Absolutely. Still, this is a thing that's happening. And finally today, the Adam Scott, Patricia Arquette, John Turturro show Severance has added another big star with a big side of weird. Deadline says Christopher Walken is joining the cast, so, this show is going to be totally normal. I know TV is not exactly what it used to be, but this looks to be the first time Walken has shown up as a regular in any series. I mean, it's not Cheers, but still. With every story about this show, we learn a tiny bit more. According to Deadline, Severance takes place at Lumen Industries, a company that's looking to take work-life balance to a new level with a severance procedure which separates work and out-of-work memories. Adam Scott stars as Mark, an employee with a dark past trying to put himself back together. Walken will play Bert, the department head of optics and design at Lumen Industries. Totally normal. Still no word on when this show will start streaming, but it is turning into one that I can't wait to see. Yesterday on macOS Ken Live, we talked about the possibilities tied up in next week's event. Plus, remember Apple's Halo effect? Lots of topics hit. I would love for you to check it out. You can see the video with the viewer chat afterwards on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/KenRay. Or if audio's more your jam, please subscribe to the audio-only version, macOS Ken Live, wherever you get podcasts. Oh, and don't forget, going live every Monday through Friday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Eastern. That even includes today at youtube.com/KenRay. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by Squarespace. Get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with offer code macOSKen at squarespace.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Mint Mobile. Get the new unlimited data plan for just $30 a month at mintmobile.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media, online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.